It's time for Tonia's Kitchen, taking you around the world of food and wine. Here is Tonia King.
I love discovering new cookbooks that are fun, and today I got to chat with Lisa Lucas and Debrianna Mancini about their fun new quirky book called That Time We Ate Our Feelings. Thanks for joining me, you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
The two of you got together and put out this very cool book. Give me some background on how this happened.
Our origin story.
Quite a story. It's quite a story.
COVID hit. Lisa and I are both in the entertainment industry. I was about to take my solo show to London. Everything got just shut down. And Lisa and I had been friends for years, but we barely had time to even get a cup of coffee together over the years. We both were working so hard. And so I knew that she loved to cook. We had, long story, but we had met each other over a bad dinner one night at an event. and we became fast friends, complaining about the food. And so I called her one day and I said, hey, why don't we just cook on Facebook and see who joins us, because we're not doing anything and nobody can get anything. We couldn't get flour, we couldn't get sugar. It was a crazy time. So, and let's just see who joins us. And we just thought our family and friends would, show up. And well, overnight it was like we had like 5,000 people watching us cook, and we were gonna go every, like, you go Tuesday, I'll go Thursday, and we started. Once we got it up and running, we cooked for 143 days in a row.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. So who came up with the menus? Like, did you each just come up with different ideas on what to make?
You know what? It was all about coping. I mean, I think, you remember, it's hard to recall now, but remember how scared we were when we just didn't know what it was, and we were all like shut-ins in our house. And like,
right.
For me as a television writer, producer, like, I don't even know what it is to like be in my house in the daytime. I was working 14-hour days on TV shows, and so I was like, I'm in my house. Here's my dogs during the day. Yeah. Here's a spoon. I can make something. So it felt like Thanksgiving a little bit. But yeah, Debrianna and I it was literally like, what recipes do we know? And then we were pulling out like every, grandma, aunt, family recipe. Debrianna's Italian, I'm Croatian. And so, we have that sort of similar comfort food background. And, we just made what made us feel good, honestly. And then we just started branching out because we couldn't get food. So, Well,
and it was there was a lot of sort of MacGyvering of food too, because you couldn't get anything.
Right.
So we'd be like, oh my God, I found sugar. I'm going to make cookies.
Now, were you cooking together in the same kitchen? No, you were each in your own individual kitchens, right?
That was part of the fun. Was we were live streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube. And so people could join in. We were both in our own individual kitchens, and then anybody could join in and comment. So one would cook and one would like handle the comments, and we would just laugh, cry.
Oh my goodness.
Break things, just be ourselves. And I think people had fun hanging out with us.
Cut ourselves, drop things. Lisa dropped a KitchenAid on her head one time. I cut myself.
That was terrible.
Making lasagna, and everybody was just in on the whole thing. It was never, edited out or separated or anything.
See, that's it. That sounds like my perfect day. Because I'm the same way. I'm just obsessed in the kitchen and just love having fun. And it's always so energizing to be able to work with somebody else who has that same passion.
Yes. And then to have somebody right there and go, this is so good. And it'd be like, oh, bring it over later this afternoon and you can try it. And then the next day it'd be like, those cookies were insane, or we'd eat them right in front of, the people that were watching. And it was just, it was a communion, I think and we created a micro food community. We didn't even know what that was. We don't know all the lingo, we're of a certain age in our sassy third act of life. And so what we didn't know what we were doing too was we didn't know we were test kitchening a cookbook. as we were told later when we.
Yeah, we had no idea. We thought we were just going to make a little, book for our group that we go to Kinko's and laminate a few pages, and we had, because people were asking us for a cookbook, and we thought, oh, we'll just do that, and we designed a few things, and then Lisa had a client. Go ahead.
So I had a dear friend. We had optioned his book for a TV series. And he said to me, my publisher in New York is looking for a quirky cookbook, and I think you guys would be great. You should get together. So he made the introduction, and we were like, oh, this is never going to happen.
We were just like, this is not going to happen.
Producer, I can't tell you how many times I've been told no. So I'm used to it. And so anyway, we put this beautiful thing together, and we really had to hone in. What do we want? If we could do this, what would it be? We love vintage feel of things, but we're like modern feminist minded women. We're a little bit of an enigma.
Yeah.
What are we? And you have to really distill that idea. Like, what would you do if someone kind of gave you this opportunity? So we just, hired a designer, put something together that we liked, that was like a scrapbook, because we didn't want to just have recipes. We really wanted to tell stories that were connected to the recipes, because we did a lot of we're storytellers. So anyway, we pitched it. They said yes. We're like, what?
The two of us were like, what? Oh my God! Now we have to write a book.
Well, now, how long did it take you to put it together?
I think about 2 years, right? Well, because it was COVID,
right?
Everything was in the publishing world was as slowed down as everything else in life. So I think it took probably about 2 years. Because to put it together.
We had to test the recipes. We had to write the stories. We had to think about what we wanted to put together and the different, sections, and shoot the photos with a professional food photographer.
And then we had the most blessed luck with our photographer.
Oh my God.
Penina Meisels is renowned food photographer who retired here in Santa Fe, and collected my husband's work, but also was a Corona Kitchen member. And she said, I want to shoot your cookbook. I want to help you guys. And we were like, what? I mean, William Sonoma, Julia Child, no, wow. That's who she shoots for.
And we were like, there's a picture of her and Jacques Pepin. We're like, oh my God, imposter syndrome right now. And so anyway, but
it sounds like it all just fell together, right?
It really did.
I love the title, That Time We Ate Our Feelings. How in the world did you come up with that title?
That's what we were doing.
We just did. We came up with a whole bunch of titles, and I think while we were writing, we were brainstorming. We're like, really, what is it? And I think it was just a specific time in our lives where we're coping and communing, and like, why are we making this today? Because we need this martini, we need this banana bread, you know what I mean? And it was just like, that's what it was. So that's what we came up with.
It's what's really cool, just like you said, it's almost like a scrapbook. I love all the pictures. You have so many pictures of great old photos, and looks like family and friends. And I love the titles. Like the one I just opened up to, I Might Drink the Bourbon Barbecue Sauce. I love that. And that's what's so cool about this book. It's so quirky and fun. And you must have had a ball just coming up with the titles of these recipes.
We did. We laughed a lot.
We really did. We laugh a lot, Debrianna and I. And, if you don't laugh, you're just going to be crying, right? And so,
exactly.
Yeah. But the other thing is that these recipes actually are really good. Like they it's not just like we made it to like make a joke or something, but they really Debrianna, and I have to say, is honestly the legit chef in this duo. I'm just hanging on her coattails. I got a couple things going, but I learned so much from her, and she is just an amazing home chef. And it's good food. Like the food is awesome,
Well, speaking of the awesome food, how about you guys share 2 or 3 recipes with us? Tell our listeners how to make some of these great things.
Oh, well, look, I just happen to have a book right here.
As do I.
What are the odds?
Well, I just made David just made the granola out of here. What was it? Just yesterday, because we have guests coming and their favorite thing is the granola. And it's super easy. And once you start making it, you are not going to ever buy granola again.
How do you put it together?
Oatmeal. Like I get really good organic oatmeal, and you use sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, chopped almonds, chopped pecans, chopped walnuts. So it's chock full of protein. I used yesterday, or David did, dried cherries, but you can use raisins or cranberries. Just a little bit of salt, brown sugar, maple syrup, and honey, a combination of those, because each of those sugars has a different flavor profile.
Sure.
So you get each of those. I use coconut oil, because coconut oil is really good for you, and cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla. And then the secret is to use 2 egg whites to beat the egg whites up.
Yeah.
And that gives it the sort of crunch and, chunky pieces. So it's not all like crumbly. You combine all those things onto a baking sheet that's lined with parchment paper, put it in the oven and at 325. And you just spread everything out evenly, and you bake it till it's about crisp, about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. And you just kind of watch it, rotate the pan, make sure the edges aren't like getting brown too fast. And then you take the pans from the oven and let it cool. Put it in an airtight container and you're good to go.
Well, that sounds great. It sounds pretty easy too if you have all the ingredients.
Yeah, I mean that's all you really need to do is just be a person who goes out, gets the ingredients, throws it in a big bowl, and then on a parchment on a cookie sheet. That's it. And that way you can control your own sugar in there too, because a lot of the granolas, store-bought granolas, are stupid sweet.
Yes, you are right. Exactly. That sounds great.
I can't really stop eating that granola when it makes it. A lot of our recipes, it's hard to choose because like everything is really attached to a childhood memory of really, for me, somebody I love that used to make these tried and true things. I'm just flipping through here and I see this Queen for a Day 3-layer chocolate mousse. My mom was a avid reader of Gourmet magazine, and when I was a child, we couldn't wait for it to come in the mail, and try to make something, from home. And so this particular mousse has a dark chocolate layer, a mocha layer, whipped cream, and you top it with raspberries. But it's just like, I remember my mom making this for special occasions, and she'd always like put it in this beautiful like antique fluted glass or something, and she was always into the look of it too. But when you put your spoon into it, it was like one of the most delicious heavenly things I've ever had. So and it's the tricolors, which looks really cool. But basically what it is, dark chocolate layer is 8 ounces of bittersweet chocolate, mini marshmallows, a little Cointreau, and some whole milk. Okay, so that's you boil that in a double boiler, and then when it's cooled, you refrigerate it. Then you make the mocha layer, which has semi-sweet chips and mini marshmallows, a little bit of instant coffee, whole milk, and then the whipped cream. It's just Debrianna and I make a lot of different things, like we just have a line of sugars out right now. We have this vanilla cardamom sugar, so like in the whipped cream we'd put like our vanilla sugar, real vanilla extract, heavy cream, and then you assemble the mousses, so you have all these different things, and you're putting them with the whipped cream in the different layers, with chocolate shavings. It's just a fabulous decadent thing, perfect for Valentine's Day.
Exactly. It sounds like a lovely dessert.
Yes, it is. I can tell you something really quick that I make all the time, and I don't know if people know about how to do this, but I call them salt roasted potatoes, and we call them salt roasted potatoes to get you through the night. And really all you do is take a cast iron frying pan and fill it with kosher salt, And I add, in the recipe in the book, I add fennel seeds and crushed peppercorn, some chopped rosemary. So you can do it with adding fresh herbs to the salt, or you can do it with just salt. And then you poke a hole in the potato, like those small Yukon Gold potatoes, or the multicolored ones, purple and red. Kind of get them all the same size and push them into the salt. Cover them, and then you let them cook in the salt, and they come out crispy on the outside and soft and creamy on the inside. I'm telling you, you won't make potatoes another way if you try this.
So this is on the stove, on top of the stove. You're not roasting
on top
them.
of the stove. Nope, you do it on top of the stove with a cover that's just lets the air out a little bit out of the.
You must cook them slow and low.
Yep, slow. Well, it's about a medium heat, I think. Under that's usually what I do, just like a medium flame. And they're usually done within like 30. It depends on how big your potatoes are, really. But wow, I'm telling you, you won't do it another way, because they come out so sweet this way.
Yes.
Love it. Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds great. And this is the time of year a lot of people are thinking about comfort food, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do another comfort food recipe.
Yes, there's a lot of breads and carbs and the things that we kind of like really crave when we think comfort food, and whatever. But the other thing that Debrianna and I really are really serious about is, like, anybody can cook. And like, I think we inspired a lot of people with this, because it's kind of like, okay, I'm scared to cook, I've never done it, or I love to cook, I'm just looking for something good. But if you're one of those people that's just like, I don't want to make a mistake, and I want to make something that tastes good and makes me feel good, this is totally a book for you too. Because, like, for example, one of the things that I have in here is Nana said her zucchini bread would fix all your problems. And she was right. This was a bread that literally, when I bite into it, I feel better. I reminded of my grandmother and her loving nature and teaching us how to cook and care about food and, quality ingredients and whatever. But this is just like one of those buttery, not over sugared zucchini breads. And you can make a banana bread. You can adapt any of our stuff to anything,
So tell me how you make it and why it tastes so good.
Here's how you make it. Okay. So the secret is in the moistness of the bread and the crisp on the top. So if you look at the picture in the book, it's covered with toasted pumpkin seeds. So you just put together, so easy, some melted butter, brown sugar, eggs, grated zucchini, applesauce, sour cream, lemon, vanilla, freshly grated nutmeg, cinnamon, flour, a little bit of ground flaxseed, baking powder, sea salt, baking soda, cup of raisins, and pine nuts. And then I top it with these toasted pumpkin seeds on the top, and it rises and it's this crunchy, nutty, buttery exterior. And on the inside, it's just soft and moist, gorgeous.
It's delicious.
Works every time.
I can tell the applesauce and sour cream definitely add for the moistness.
Yeah, totally.
Wow, that sounds really good.
So good. Yeah.
Well, I have an unusual recipe that I love to make on a cold, snowy day. It was really comfort food. It's called Bring on the Bliss oat risotto. Ooh. And so instead of using rice, I use oat groats, steel cut oats.
Oh.
And you do it in a largely the same way you would if you were making a regular risotto. So, but I use shiitake mushrooms, chicken stock, butter. I use a leek and a shallot and chopped fennel, some cremini mushrooms, steel cut oats, and I grate a lot of cheese. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding? Why are you sorry? There's nothing like great cheese.
I know, right? So I like to soak the mushrooms first in some warm water, the dried shiitake mushrooms. And then I use that soaking water and add it to the chicken stock. So you're really getting a more, mushroomy flavor. But I usually remove the stems because the stems don't always soften the same way the tops of the mushrooms do, and chop them up. Um, and then you melt the butter. You add the leeks, the shallot, the fennel, and you cook that over medium heat until everything's kind of translucent. And then you add in the cremini mushrooms until they release the fresh ones until they release their water. Then you add a little more butter because who doesn't need more butter? And then you stir in the oats and the shiitake mushrooms, and you sort of let them soak up the butter. And then you start doing the same thing you do with the risotto. You add 1 cup of warm stock at a time, with the chicken stock mixed with the mushroom water, and just stirring it frequently until that cup gets absorbed. Then you add a little more and a little more, and you keep doing that. Cook it till the liquid is absorbed. Then you add a little more, and then you do this until the oats are chewy, and they have a really nice chew. It's a little different than the rice, but I just love the flavor of oats. They have that sort of nutty side to them that rice doesn't have. And that takes, I don't know, about 30 minutes or so. Then you stir in the cheese and some salt if you need it. And it is so good. I've added roasted chicken to that, and that right there is your dinner.
So I'm curious, whatever made you think about substituting oats instead of rice?
I don't know.
I was just curious. I never heard of anybody doing a risotto with the oats. It's pretty cool. I mean, usually I'll do one with cauliflower. I'll do cauliflower kind of risotto. But that's
Nice.
really interesting.
Oh, I just love it. And people are always so surprised. And, I think that oats have a different, nutritional component than just rice does. So I think people feel a little better eating something as decadent as a risotto with the oat groats. It's really, I don't know why I thought of it. I must have read it somewhere.
Steel cut oats are definitely different.
Oh, absolutely they are. Yeah, you don't use regular oats.
Right.
You have to use the little ones that are shaped like a nugget.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. That's what's so cool about your book. We're talking with Lisa Lucas and Debrianna Mancini about their brand new book, That Time We Ate Our Feelings. I just love the titles of your recipes as well. Oh my goodness, I just opened up Catholic Guilt-Free Angel Food Birthday Cake. So how in the world did you come up with that title?
Well, that was the cake that my mother made for every one of our birthdays. I made it for my kids their entire life. And it's just, we think that we can't, people get intimidated by angel food cake and just, run for the box. But the thing about it is it's so easy to make. And yes, you need a dozen eggs.
Yes.
But it's so easy. And it's like for those of us, who don't want to have a lot of calories, it's like, I don't know, something like 130 calories a slice or something like that. And you can just, top it with berries or whatever the heck you want, you know what I mean? But it's so light and fluffy and amazing when you make it yourself. Like the difference between a store-bought one, and you think there's no difference, but there really, really is. And it's just so, like, you can put, orange extract or lemon, sometimes I do it with lemon or whatever, and I just experiment with these different sort of essences with it. And, you can slice it. It's so easy to slice and stack and make something really showstoppery, and it's not hard. You know what I mean? Like it's easy. It's just creative and fun. So you can have that creative element for kids or whomever you're making it for. But
I'm definitely a big fan. I make angel food cake all the time. I am a big fan. So it is delicious. One thing though, I always feel about angel food cakes, it could almost be like a chemistry experiment because those egg whites have to be at room temp.
Okay.
Yep.
Right?
So the picture you're not seeing in the book sometimes I don't do it right. You're right. You flip it over on the wine bottle and it just doesn't work because of what you're saying. It is total lessons in chemistry. And so my son will laugh and go, "That's okay, Mom. We can make a trifle out of it." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Make lemonade out of lemons.
Because it still tastes good. It tastes good.
Exactly.
It's so much fun chatting with you guys.
I love my build bridges, not walls, grilled Mexican street food corn.
How do you make it?
Oh my God, it's so good. The corn this way is so good, but in the summer it's better when you have corn that you can put
Sure.
on when you have the husks.
Yep.
So you pull back the husks and you kind of you keep them attached and you take the silks out, and then you kind of just pull them back and soak the husks for about 10 minutes in water, because you want to, the best way to do this is to grill it. So, and you don't want the husks to, catch on fire.
Catch fire.
let's just say. So while those are soaking, and you should also put the string that you're going to wrap it with, to tie them up afterwards. Put the string in there too. That's a handy tip. And then you mix in a bowl mayonnaise, sour cream, chipotle powder, smoked paprika, lime zest, and lime juice in a bowl. And then in a separate bowl, you mix together crumbled feta, some kind of hard goat cheese or Parmesan. I really like the hard goat cheeses too. I think they're really interesting, the flavor of it. And you mix the cheeses and you put those aside. So when you're ready to grill the corn, you rub a garlic clove on the corn, and then you pull the husks up over the corn and you wrap the wet string around it, and you grill the corn until the kernels start to turn a little brown. And then you take them off the grill, remove the husks, and you paint this mayonnaise mixture all over the corn. So the mayonnaise and the sour cream sort of melt into the hot corn. It's kind of like better than butter. And then you roll the corn in the chopped cheeses until the whole thing is just like coated with sour cream and cheese and all these really exciting spices. And then you finish it with parsley and sea salt and a squeeze of lime. And I am telling you, you will think you died and went to heaven.
Oh my goodness, I could eat that now.
You would really want to. Sometimes I cheat it and I grill the corn in the winter anyway without the husks on it. There's something about the husks, like when they're soaked and they're around the corn, they just sort of steam that corn and keep it really tender. Yeah.
Ooh, that really sounds great. Now, how do we find you guys on social media?
So we're everywhere. And our official name of our company is Golden Goose Kitchen, but the show that we still do to this day every Monday night is Corona Kitchen, and you can find that on Facebook,
YouTube. On YouTube it's Corona, and on Facebook it's Golden Goose.
Right. So you can find every show we've ever done on YouTube on Golden Goose Kitchen. If you want to check in on Facebook every Monday night or YouTube Live, you can watch it. It's usually around 6:00 Mountain in the US.
Instagram, it's at the Corona Kitchen.
Right, Instagram, and we're also on TikTok, Golden Goose Kitchen, and
our website is goldengoose.kitchen.com, and that's where we list all our book events. We'll be coming to the East Coast in April, so you can check it out, see when we're coming your way.
We'll be traveling. We'll be going to all the major cities in April, book signing, sometimes maybe food demoing. Jane Fonda famously said this, third act of life for women, and we're really embracing that right now and just going for it all. Now is really the time, and your life is not over in your 50s or 60s or however old you may be in this section of it. We're just starting, honestly. I mean, we have more books in the works. Debrianna's, I'm sure going to do her show again. She's an incredible actor. We're both working in films, TV. I'm developing TV series. I have a production company. I mean, we just don't stop. We don't stop. No, it's a creative bubble right now. We're just embracing it,
It has just been a pleasure chatting with both of you. We're talking with Lisa Lucas and Debrianna Mancini about That Time We Ate Our Feelings. Have a great day, and thanks so much for sharing some of your time with me.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. We really enjoyed hanging with you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you'll subscribe to this podcast as we continue to take you around the world of food and wine on Tonia's Kitchen.